I think you're just attracted to the guy.
No, but I'm just saying that you just like as like some sort of like, you know,
I
some
think
sort
that
of like technique.
it's
some
different.
sort of it's a breathing technique.
No,
it's a breathing technique.
No, it's a physical reaction to something.
It's a breathing
I think that you
technique.
are.
I didn't mean bigger in that way.
I don't know. I don't know. You're eating your words now. And much like eating.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss a new series each week. My name is Josh Hinogami Kagura Michaels, and today I am joined by
Mehgan Tengen Sama Perrine.
Woo! Woo! You look great, by the way, dude. You're killing it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Volume 1. Today we're doing something a little different. We are going to be going through Season 2 of Demon Slayer. What an incredible season. I couldn't not talk about it. We couldn't not talk about it. It was like nothing I had seen ever and also in a long time at the same time, even though that's a little, contradictory. Before we get started, though, we do have to tell you that we recently launched what we are calling our Done Collection, and that is going to be a series of merch based on our Volume Done series, our Bleach Volume Done series, Done Kai, and our One Piece Volume Done series, Done Piece. These are read-throughs, read-alongs, and it's our take on the logos, and we slapped them on some clothes, some stickers, some hoodies for you guys, and it's going to be a long journey. So show your love for Volume 1 and for the series that you love at the same time.
And they look great. I mean, I just might cop one. Like
I'm a for sure cop one.
Yeah, they look awesome. And
I'm a for sure.
It is just so funny. Like, I feel like wearing them and be like, is that the Bleach logo?
Yeah,
and you're like, no,
yeah,
this is Done Kai.
It's kind of like the Hypeland Bleach collab. From a distance, it looks like it says Bleach, but you get close and then you realize it says Hypeland.
It is that Hypeland feel, for sure.
But if you are interested and you want to cop one for yourself, you can do that by clicking the link in the description of this video. Like we said, we're going to be grabbing some too. So show your support and cop some merch.
Yeah. Ball out.
Yeah, without further ado, I mean, I kind of want to talk about before we go. We're going to go through the episodes. We're going to go through the whole second season and talk about sort of our feelings on each episode. But I want us to give our thoughts, just our general thoughts on the season as a whole, because it was a roller coaster ride. Actually, before we start, Volume 1-chan, did you watch Season 2? What did you think of Demon Slayer Season 2?
Oh my gosh, it was so crazy! At the end, they were like, boom, boom, boom! And then there was like shurikens, and they were covered in like poison, and he was like, ow! Oh, I can't move my body! And then his hand came off, and then you were like,
yeah, I remember
he's
that.
dead for sure, but then he came back,
That's
and
true,
then they
yeah.
fought, and the skinny guy was like, and the sister was like, and you were like, oh my gosh, these guys are so annoying, but they're kind of cool though.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That's true. That's one thing I look forward in every season of Demon Slayer is those demon flashbacks. Every time you're introduced to a new demon, you're like, where's that sob story? Give it to me now.
Well, what I thought was so cool about this series or this season is that we didn't really get that until the very last episode.
Well, I mean, it took that long to get it.
They really earned it.
Yeah.
It really earned it.
Yeah,
and
for
I just
sure.
want to say, shout out to Ufotable. When I saw this season, and it was only 11 episodes long, there are other people who are counting or are watching, the Mugen Train movie split up over the course of a season and including that as part of Season 2. But I'm talking about specifically the Entertainment District, those 11 episodes. That is how you tell a story. That is how you do it. No filler, no BS. It's just the meat of it. And I was absolutely blown away, not just by things like the animation, which we're going to talk about, but just the pacing of the story. Every anime has flashbacks. Every anime, has those moments where our heroes are against all odds and need to muster up everything inside themselves to be able to pull through. And a lot of times, me coming from series like Naruto, especially, that can take episodes of just like flashing back to how they trained to be able to master this power up that they're about to use, or thinking back on all the times that they've been told they couldn't do it before. I mean, it's usually a lot of build up, but this was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, especially like towards the end, like it's a good anime. You're watching some good stuff when the episodes just feel so short.
Yeah,
and when there's gonna be a cliffhanger and that ED pops in, you're like, damn.
And that was like for 4 or 5 episodes straight, cliffhanger after cliffhanger, cliffhangers that made me like I haven't been this anxious and this excited and looking forward to a next episode in so long, not with this much intensity.
Yeah, for sure. And in the first couple episodes, like we'll go through it, but it was kind of reminiscent to how you felt in the first season of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, dude.
Where versus me, I was pretty much sold on episode 1. Like I was
of season 1 of the series, or
season
of
1
season 2.
Yeah, season 1 of Demon Slayer. Like episode 1, I was like, this is gonna be great because it was like, Ufotable or Ufotable or whatever, they are on another level.
Yeah.
And they're just not doing it like everyone else is doing it out here. Like you see Jujutsu Kaisen and that looks amazing and Mappa's awesome. We all know that, but like what? Like they don't have to do enough, but they do like Fate and like other series, but damn, they are really putting their all into this animation.
Yeah,
like,
and it's a phrase that I think you've coined that I want to bring onto the show. They put their whole pussy into it.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
They really
did. And you could feel that, like
you could feel it.
Damn, it's like 4K, like amazing. Oh, it's
what's so great
awesome
about it too, and I don't know if this is the case. We did a little research, obviously, in preparation for this episode, but Ufotable or Ufotable or whatever, they have done other series, and I'm sure are doing other series currently. But it looks like mainly what their focus is Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
and
that's their heavy hitter. I mean Fate Stay Night's definitely super popular. I've never watched it or had my toe in the fandom or anything at all. But I mean, from looking at it too, it looks very beautiful, just like Demon Slayer. And that's their money. I mean, like Mugen Train was awesome.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. I mean, I think that because and this is like kind of like the danger or the fear with Mappa and how they're now taking on Chainsaw Man on top of Jujutsu Kaisen on top of they're doing I think Ranking of Kings as well, right? That's Mappa. Mm-hmm. With all these shows that they're doing, there is a fear of a dip in quality or a team, a B team, a C team of animators, or overworking the animators that they have. But with Ufotable or Ufotable, I mean, they're really just working hard on one series. Yeah, as a fan, that might sometimes suck because we're getting fewer series. If studios dedicate more time to one series, we're getting fewer adaptations. But the fewer adaptations we're getting, hopefully, should be like amazing movie quality series like this was. This was movie quality. They had to outdo what they did for Mugen Train, and Mugen Train was a movie released in theaters that killed it, that crushed the box office.
Yeah,
worldwide, globally, they had to top that, and they topped that. This felt like I was watching a movie, and it was non-stop towards the end of the seasons. It just did not let up, and that is again coming from a series like Naruto. Like that was my introduction into anime and the shonen genre, especially. Naruto would constantly have like movie quality animations, but not even for a whole episode. It'd be for like, not even for a whole fight. It'd be for just like a part of it. And this was entire episodes, multiple episodes, never letting up.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I mean, that just like, it definitely obviously is great as a fan to just be like, yes, next episode. But it just like feeds into like the story, like of how like dire the situation is, how unexperienced they are and how much they realize that in this fight, because in Mugen Train they did have kind of a hard time getting through, and I don't want to spoil it, but it is hard for them to get through and some other stuff happens. But here they all equally had to fight as hard as a Hashira. Like they are not qualified to even be there. I think even Tengen like kind of realizes that like early on, because this is like a high rank demon, but also this isn't the highest ranking of them at all.
Yeah, no, this is upper 6, but
which is
I think it's I think they even say at the end of the season that it is the lowest of the upper 6.
Yeah, crazy. I'm like, what? Like, get some more Hashira out there. Like,
I mean, there's not enough Hashira. Not enough Hashira to go around.
I guess not.
You know, in terms of like the characters too, I'm going to be honest with you. If you've seen, you know, any of our previous videos, then you know my journey with Demon Slayer, which was that, you know, towards the beginning of the first season, I wasn't really, you know, cottoning to it like I think a lot of other people were, and it took that episode in the forest, I think it's like around episode 17 or something like that everybody talks about before I really understood it or got it or was in it. And you know, part of that was that I just did not really enjoy Zenitsu and Inosuke. I mean, they were two equally loud characters. Like, you know, so many dynamics can get away with having one of those. This was a dynamic that had two of them, and you know, 2 out of 3. So it's like, you know, 80% or 75% of this, you know, whatever dynamic. I suck at math. But you know, after Mugen Train, Inosuke won me over. And after season 2, Zenitsu kind of won me over.
I mean,
I think it was because he was passed out the whole time.
That's the kind of like character flaw, I guess, is just having like a cop out to like an annoying character being like cool. And he definitely is, I think, my least favorite of them. Like I like how he helps, but he's definitely at the bottom of the list for the three guys, for sure.
And if I would have known, like, to talk about, you know, that a little bit more, the dynamic, if I would have known, and first of all, the other characters that were introduced, the demons this season, Tengen, like the wives, like everybody else that was introduced this season was absolutely incredible and such a joy to watch week to week.
Yeah.
But I do think that, you know, for me, when we talk about the pacing of the anime as a whole, the season as a whole, if I would have known what they had up their ass crack, you know, I wouldn't have been as upset. But watching week to week, it did feel like the season had a very slow start. And I don't mean slow in the sense that, I don't know, that I was completely out. But I mean, it was a lot of setup. And I understand that there needs to be setup for there to be payoff. And the setup needs to be good. And it's not that it wasn't good, but it did feel like 2 episodes were dedicated to a joke. The joke being, look how silly Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu look, you know, in this poorly disguised, you know, makeup or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the girl disguise or whatever. And it was funny, and I understand it was setting things up, but you know, for me, it just felt like, oh man, we're really back here after everything that we've been through. We're back here. And then, you know, what a way to prove me wrong by the end. I mean, I was absolutely like speechless at the end, by the end, not even by the end, like towards, you know, those last couple of episodes. But, you know, I did come around to Zenitsu, I think. But again, as soon as he snapped out of whatever he was in, I was like, okay, you know, why can't you be like this all the time?
Yeah.
You know, or why can't you be like this a little more often? You know, why can't you be badass like he was badass for the majority of the end of the season, but it's like, I don't know, like figure out a way to control it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he did have like a good moment when he did stand up to that demon. I mean, he pretty much like knew what she was and was like, hey, you can't make people cry. And I was like, dude, you're gonna freaking die. Like, that was cool, because he knew, he was even scared, and I don't even think like, you know, Tanjiro would have done that without fighting her. He just kind of let her go. But again, yeah, the demons in this season were awesome. I found myself really getting annoyed with them just because of how powerful they were. And Daki in general is just a big baby, but then you realize like, oh, that is definitely on purpose. Like, she is only like 13 years old. Technically. So it's like okay, she's a brat. Like she's like a little kid, like mentality living for hundreds of years. But it was very cool. I mean, I love Tengen, obviously. What a character, what a flashy guy. Just so cool. Like, he's so dope.
Yeah,
like,
awesome guy.
One of the best, like, you know, I love Rengoku. I love most of them. Like, they all look so dope, and I'm so excited that like each season's gonna focus on like 1 or 2 new Hashira, and you get to see really their backstory. And like, you know, Tengen's backstory too. Like you were saying, like it reminds you of like Naruto, because you have like the ninja. What are they called?
The shinobi.
Yeah, the shinobi, and how he was raised, and even like the shurikens and stuff. Like that was so sick.
Yeah. And just to go back to the demons really quick too, I really did like this season how there was a lot of build up to this demon that you thought was going to be the main antagonist of the season, but it ended up being that there was like a sleeper demon in the shadows the whole time.
We got a sleeper.
He was a bit of a sleeper.
Yeah.
He sounded like, how when you don't talk to somebody you wake up and you don't talk to somebody all day, and then the first time you speak for the day, you say something and your voice kind of cracks. Like he's like that, but all the time.
He's like, yeah, he does that like that little voice crack.
I
was shook. I was like, damn, we doing this now.
Well, also just that they're, in a way, and they kind of do talk about it in an episode, but in a way they are, Tanjiro and Nezuko in a mirrored universe. In a different, set of circumstances.
Yeah.
Where Tanjiro, once, what happened to Nezuko, if he would have maybe, he would have never, but if he would have, became a demon to be with her, this could have been them or a version or a variation of them. It was just this sibling bond and how they dealt with their tragedy and how, Daki deals with his tragedy versus how Tanjiro, they were very different even before they turned into demons. Daki was always kind of a pretty mean guy.
I mean, he was made mean.
And he was made mean, and poor, I never thought I'd say this, but poor Daki, I mean, he had a pretty...
Oh, not Daki's the girl.
Oh, not Daki. What the other guy's name? I have it here somewhere.
Skinny guy.
Yeah. He had a pretty, rough life, and
for sure.
He, God, man. I mean, just seeing, how his own mother treated him, and how he was, just raised in this, era where, you could just do that. You could just treat your children like that, and no one would bat an eye. No one said anything.
Well, I mean, it's like people were poor, and it's like, okay, well, I can't afford to feed you, so you're pretty much left to your own devices. And like he was saying too, in the entertainment district, like how you look is how you are ranked in society. So that's why it was so important when his sister was born that she was beautiful, because it gave them the upper hand and to build up in that world.
And it's like, I think his name is something along the lines of like Gyutaro.
Yeah, Gyutaro.
Gyutaro.
Yeah, and like, Gyutaro.
Butchering name, sorry.
No, it is, I think you got it right. Yeah, Gyutaro and Daki, but you find out later what her real name is. But they had a really cool flashback, and their story's awesome, and he blames himself, and I'm a sucker for those moments. Even in season 1, when we got it with the spider family, like what a great reveal of what was actually going on. And we're getting led on too to like Mugen and what he's going on, what's going on with him. And
well, that's what I loved about it too. Initially, I mean, the way the season opened, it's like we're finally getting things answered, and we're finally expanding this mythology of these
the lore
characters, the lore of these characters. We're finding out about techniques that we never knew existed. We're finding out a little bit more about the mystery that's surrounding Tanjiro and Nezuko's dad, which most likely definitely has to be a factor in why Nezuko ends up being able to do the things that she's able to do later on in the season, and how she's able to be free from Muzan's control, And
Muzan's, still, dead set on having, making sure that Tanjiro's like out. Like, I think he even tells that to Daki, like, if they share memories. So, the one with the rising sun, those earrings, you got to take them out, because he knows Tanjiro's daddy somehow. And we don't know how, we don't know why, we don't know what happened between them, but we know that Muzan is afraid, because even Daki says, like, I feel fear right now because of Muzan's memories. Are these his memories? Like, why is he scared? Like, when Muzan's scared...
Yeah.
You best believe that some stuff's going down. Yeah, because Muzan is a force to be
unshakable.
With.
He's unshakable.
Yeah, no, he's Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He's you've been struck by like a Muzanimal. Sorry. You know, sometimes you start a sentence and you have no idea where it's going to go, and you really pray, you really hope that you're going to have something at the end.
You've been struck by a blood demon.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I wanted to kind of do a pun off his name. It was my bad. Yours was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then we see, I think his name is like Akaza or Akaza. I mean, the demon that we saw at the end of Mugen Train. I mean, throughout, and that's what I loved about the intro into season 2. And when I say slow start, I mean it like the intro. The first episode was fantastic.
First episode was like, awesome. Yeah, 45 minutes, just awesome. Straight into it. And that's what I loved about Mugen Train 2 and the first season. It went straight into Mugen Train at the last episode.
Love it.
Watch the movie, straight into Mugen Train. Finish the movie. It's going straight into the next season. Like everything just flows so nicely, and it all feels like it is telling a long story. Like it's all connected. It's not like a time skip. It's not like immediately, 2 years later. It's like right now. Like they just got back from Mugen. Tanjira's gonna go see Rengoku's family and his little brother, and it just flowed so nicely. And we get that flashback of what happened in Mugen Train. And I guess spoilers, if you're watching season 2, I guess you'd have to know, right?
Yeah, they have to know. And if they don't, then I'm sorry. It's your bad. I mean, especially this late into the video, you're bad.
Yeah, it's on you.
But I do want to say too, before we start going through it, more beat by beat or episode by episode, we also did get confirmed, not that anybody was doubting that there was going to be a season 3, but we got not only it confirmed, that there was going to be one, which everybody knew, but what it was going to be and who it was going to be about and what it was going to cover, which is the swordsman. If you're an anime only watcher, which we are both anime only. We've read, the first volume of the manga, and I do, think that the manga, I mean, I am this way, and I think a lot of people are this way with series. The more I get into them, the farther into the story I get, the more likely I am to just at some point, the later it goes or the deeper it goes, I'm at some point just going to switch to the manga, and I'm just
really,
I mean, because I just can't. I mean, let's talk about for a second, because it is the anime. In this case, for sure, 100%, there's no doubting it. It is a fact that the anime elevated the source material, 100%.
For sure.
And even if you're, and to take you back to My Hero, I read My Hero for a long time. I watched what was out when it came out, which was, I think, just the first season, liked what I saw, and then couldn't wait and read. And there was only a couple times that I actually went back and had to watch, the Endeavor fight I had to watch. And there was a couple other things that I just had to see animated. But for the most part, it's hard for me to like read and watch something I've already read. So that is kind of the thing. Like with AOT, I waited. And with Demon Slayer, I might just have to wait because it is something that is being elevated. And it is something that they are, again, putting their whole pussy into it. And I can't disrespect them by not watching it.
I mean, it really depends on the series. Demon Slayer, it is current. Obviously, we have to wait a little longer to get the 3rd season, but it's like, something like Nana. Like, I know damn well they're not making any more episodes anytime soon. So you got to keep reading. You got to finish the manga. With this, I am totally fine with waiting until it comes out. Something like Chainsaw Man that hasn't come out yet and you're waiting for the anime, I would highly suggest reading the source material because it is just amazing. I don't know how the anime could elevate it because it is already elevated in any medium. So that is just interesting how like you could, like you said, like you could just like, oh, I'm just gonna go read Demon Slayer now. And
I'm just impatient.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is I'm just impatient, and I might just need to know what happens because it's confirmed that the next season's going to cover the Swordsman Village arc, and that's going to be featuring. And I love that it seems like, and again, for anime only watchers, you're kind of figuring it out as it's premiering, as it's happening. But it's going to focus on 2 different Hashira this time. So it's going to focus on I think her name is Muichiro. Who was a missed Hashira, one of the youngest Hashira.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's a boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He's like, I think 14 years old. One of the youngest Hashira got. What were you saying?
He joined like the Demon Corps, and then like 2 months after he became a Hashira. Like, so he's on some.
I think it's Demon Corps. I don't think he joined the Corps.
Oh, the Corps. Sorry.
I mean,
is it the Corps or the Corps?
I mean, I think it's the Demon Corps. I mean, if there were a bunch of corpses walking around, I mean,
hey, maybe it's for a reason. Demons, corpse, death.
To call back to.
I think it's Demon Corpse.
To call back to Cody, what is this? Congress? A bunch of corpses, a bunch of corpses walking around.
Corcuses?
A bunch of corcuses walking around.
Yeah, he's one of the youngest. So it is funny what we are kind of led into on the last episode of a little tidbit of what Tengen says to another Hashira member, because Tanjiro is also young.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that they're focusing on the youngest of the Hashira. For this next season. So that might be telling a little bit. And it's also focusing on everyone's favorite.
Mitsuri,
the love.
Yeah, she's a love-breathing Hashira?
Love-breathing Hashira.
What is love-breathing?
You can figure it out.
I mean, I could think about it, but you know what? I mean, I think about love breathing. I mean, what is it? I mean, in my head, and you know, I'm sorry.
You're a
if this
sicko.
is gonna be, you know, if you might have to cover your ears for a second, but I just imagine someone just like blowing on my genital.
Oh my!
Like
God,
not
really?
like in that not in like a sexual way. That's kind of the crazy thing. You'd think it'd be a sexual way, but I mean, literally just like, you know, like you blow out a candle.
Well,
kind of in that way.
She's using it for death, so you're gonna die.
Sometimes it feels like, you know, you're on the brink of death. You know, when passion is at its highest, the lines of passion and death, life and death, they are blurred. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
If you've never experienced that level of passion, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We're still having this conversation about love breathing.
What do you think love breathing is? I mean, how do you think that it would be?
I don't know. I think that she can like maybe talk to the demons in some type of way, or you know, she might have a special ability to make love go around. I really don't know. I know that
maybe she tells them things like, maybe she compliments them, like she whispers compliments in their ear, like, hey demon, like you actually look like really good.
You look hot today.
Like you're kind of like
working out.
Hot. You're kind of like,
yeah.
You kind of look like ripped.
Yeah.
Like do you go to the gym? And then he's gonna be like, yeah, maybe she has like that ability, and then maybe they just like, and you know, someone else comes in and slices their head off.
Yeah, she's cute though. I mean, in season 1, we got to see her talk a little bit. You know, she's like complimenting everyone. That's what she was doing. She was like, "Oh my god, they're so cute." Like, blah, blah blah. I love her. She's so cool. And I'm super excited to see her backstory and Michio, or whatever his name is. Like, it's gonna be sweet. And it is a swordsman village arc, right? Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
So, I mean, they're both swordsmen. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah, and he's part of the mist. Means. He's part of the mist Hashira. And you know, again, you know, I think that Demon Slayer is its own thing, 100%. Don't want to take anything away from it. I love it. I'm obsessed. You know, I watch it and it does, you know, feel at times reminiscent of obviously Naruto. You got the hidden mist village, and you got the mist Hashira. Especially with Tengen being from the sound village, basically, or being a sound Hashira. Also, in a way, it does kind of feel a little like Bleach. And I will say, you know, and after this, I think we can really start going through it. But, you know, it is because, and I think my only like thread of comparison between the two is that, you know, at least in Bleach, and this is only occurred to me because we're going through our reread of it right now, which check out those videos and start reading or rereading it if you haven't already. But you know, when a soul reaper, you know, purifies a soul, they are forgiven of the crimes that they committed as that hollow, as that entity.
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, if they are, regardless, they are. But if they committed, you know, awful crimes as a human, then it can only undo the crimes that they committed as a hollow. However, what I kind of really like about Demon Slayer is similarly, when not necessarily a Shinigami's sword cuts through a demon, but when a Demon Slayer cuts through a demon, you know, there's a scene at the end with the brother and sister where, you know, they look like they're like walking into the fires of hell. And I really did like how, you know, like it was a choice that they made. It was a choice that they made to become these things, regardless of how, messed up their life was leading them up to that point, but they have to answer for those things that they did and aren't just going to be forgiven. I love how a light didn't come down and they didn't walk towards a light.
Well, it was interesting because there was opposite directions at the last episode. Daki, which is Ume, she was on one side and then her brother's on the other side. And he said, go that direction. I'm going to go this direction because I have to, I'm pretty much responsible for who you became, who became and like what you did. So there was like a light, I guess, that she could have walked towards, but she was equally as guilty as, him.
Or maybe there wasn't necessarily a light, but maybe it was like, oh yeah, you can just kind of wander and you can kind of just like, you don't have to come, you don't have to come to hell with me.
Yeah.
But she did. And I really like that. I like that there wasn't, sometimes you just need that in a story. You just need characters to have to pay for and have consequences for their actions. And that there wasn't some last minute thing in the afterlife. It was sweet how they were still together and they, were able to make up, but how there wasn't anything that got them out of having to pay the price for the lives that they took and the people that they hurt. And, I don't know. I really liked that a lot. I really, really liked. I thought that ending with them was really beautiful. And it just didn't feel cheap. It just felt complete. It felt like that's what needed to happen. And I was just completely blown away by this whole season.
Yeah.
I know we've been going on for a while, but we just wanted to give you some of our general thoughts. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for still listening. But we're gonna go through a little bit more in depth, episode by episode. And just to start it off, episode 1, the sound Hashira Tengen Uzui. He enters obviously, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding this season specifically.
Yeah.
Obviously because of Tengen and his wives, but also because the season was going to be taking place in the entertainment district, which is, modeled after a very real district in the real world. It's known for prostitution and drugs and all these crazy things in the night.
In the night.
And I knew when people, it was just people's feathers were getting ruffled just to be ruffled. I knew Demon Slayer was going to handle it tastefully and there wasn't going to be like, I don't know what people thought. People were talking like there was going to be a scene where you just walked in and saw someone you saw like Tengen like having an orgy with his wives or something. But
yeah, it was not like that at all. It was very wholesome. And I think that they have a different definition of like wives. It's more, they're like companions. It's more like a team. It's very weird.
No, they're wives for sure. For sure.
They're wives for sure.
Wives can be companions, and wives can, when you're in a healthy relationship, your partner can seem like a teammate in a lot of ways.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is picking up right after Mugen Train, like we already said, and really the highlight of this episode, I think, was not only getting to meet the new character, but finding out, like you mentioned, that there is a history or there is a meaning behind the earrings that Tanjiro wears. And it's the first time I think that we learn about the sun breathing technique from Rengoku's dad, that Tanjiro goes to not necessarily visit him, but to visit Rengoku's younger brother, Kyojuro. And we see Tanjiro headbutt him in this episode, which is forehead shadowing, which is what I call forehead shadowing.
And it's not the first time he's done that. I mean, his head's a force of nature.
Oh yeah, it's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he's taken people out before, and it was super emotional.
Tanjiro
obviously
just keeps going around giving people head, dude. It's crazy.
Okay, here we go again with the head.
No, he keeps going. I mean, he does. I mean, he's giving people head, forehead.
It was a very emotional moment.
Yeah.
For Tanjiro and Rengoku's family. Rengoku's dad was a piece of shit. He gets redeemed a little bit towards the end because he was just a drunk who gave up on life and his family, which is not excusable at all. But Tanjiro can mend people's hearts and save the day, so he was able to do that for him. And his younger brother, and it was just very very sad, and it felt wrapped up, and I was happy that it was what it was, but very very sad stuff.
Very sad stuff. And like you said, it was this beautiful sort of ending. And it was this great step forward into the next season. I love that a first episode can feel like, closing one story, ending one story, and starting another one in one episode. I think that's really great because it really, it really brings in all the things from the previous season that you were still really emotional about or might have been wondering about, while at the same time starting. It doesn't feel like they're, I guess, just like kind of throwing it under the bridge, everything that happened before. It's like, oh no, these characters are still dealing with this stuff.
Yeah, that's the best part about it. It's not like a time skip where we see them, a year later and they're, already dealt with it. Okay, they dealt with it. We're going to go on to the next thing.
And he's like, Rinhuku? What?
Who's that? I forgot.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Hinogami Kagura?
yeah, these kids are reading that. But it was very well done, and we get to see Tanjiro train more, and Zenitsu and Inosuke. They're all trying to be on Tanjiro's level. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they're trying hard.
Yeah, and episode 1 was a great start to the season. However, I did feel as if episode 2 and episode 3, while they had some, cool moments, and I think most of any kind of cool moment was with either Tanjiro or Inosuke. For the most part, I think episode 2 and episode 3, yes, I am very aware we're also setting things up in a lot of ways, but also I just felt like I really do think that this was a tight season. 11 episodes was perfect. And I don't even think that in terms of lulls, this was the worst lull I've seen. Again, being a Naruto fan, years of filler. But, it did for me. I did start to feel myself kind of questioning the litness of this season.
I mean,
I was giving it a litmus test.
Yeah, litmus test.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part about these 2 episodes, I think, was, Tengen's hair down.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Highlight.
He was able to finesse his way out of any situation in that outfit, and he's the man, and that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, did I think that the joke of Inosuke and Zenitsu and Tanjiro dressed as girls was funny? Yes. Did I think it warranted like 2 full episodes? No. But regardless, I think in hindsight, Ufotable could have done whatever they wanted to in these episodes. I mean, again, if I would have known what they had up their sleeve, they really could have just shown a still image for 2 episodes.
Yeah, and we see all the houses and stuff, and I think it is just like, build up, obviously, showing what the people in the houses have to deal with, and showing, who we find to be the Oiran. Which is the main demon of the series, and she's not a nice girl. Everyone is scared shitless of this woman.
Yeah, and really quick too, before we forget and we move on, in episode 1, it was also a little bit of Muzan. We got to see him.
Oh Midaki.
Yeah, he was, even before that, we saw
episode
him,
1, yeah, when he's the baby.
When he's a little kid, and he's like living with his family, and he's looking for something to make something that I might have looked up and got spoiled, but
oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure in the episode he says that he's looking for something to help him make the perfect demon, to kind of perfect demons. Yeah, because they still have limitations.
He's looking for specifically the flower, the blue spider lily, and that's when he talks to Akaza, and he
Akaza,
pretty much scolds him and is just like, "You idiot! You can't kill one. You can only kill one Hashira. You couldn't kill the rest of them. Like, are you incompetent? Like, I don't need you. If you mess up again, like, I'm gonna kill you."
Now, was this the first time too that we became aware as an audience that Muzan could shapeshift and do all this?
No, he shapeshift before into
Mugen,
a woman.
Right? Yeah, in Mugen Train, he was
he was a lady.
Yeah, he was a lady.
He's able to do that, which is like very, very useful.
Of course, the most useful.
Yeah, so he's really living it up. But yeah, he scolds him and says, it's your fault because of this. You didn't get this, and that's when because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna kill Tanjiro because he messed it all up for me.
And then I only remember to cut back to that because, yes, then again, Muzan comes in and talks to Daki and tells Daki, like, again, the whole season is like infiltrating these houses and posing as girls and just trying to get intel on Tengen's wives because they have gone missing or they have stopped writing to him and relaying information to him. So they're all in separate houses gathering information. Daki's in one of these houses and, Muzan comes up to her and basically tells her like, oh, you're so much stronger than you were last time we met up. And basically tells her like, you have to help me get these two people, right? He talks about Tanjiro and Nezuko.
Yeah, he says there's a, demon that's not under my control, kind of a rogue demon, and I don't have control of them. So if you see them, let me know. And I did like the line too where he says, obviously, the demon slayers can sense that you're a demon, but you can't tell them apart from any other human. So like watch your back. Yeah. Which is like very cool because the demons do have a lot of upper hands on the humans most of the time. I mean, they have the night and the day, obviously that's the biggest upper hand they have, but it's kind of hard to find them during the day as it is. But it was cool that is one thing that they can use against them.
Yeah, for sure. And I absolutely loved some other things that were revealed as possible upper hands that because the Hashira, really are, and we're feeling this from Tengen obviously having to come in and all of the Hashira thinking that they are stronger than each other. But after the loss of Rengoku and then over the course of the season, you really do feel how short-staffed the Hashira are.
And how easy they can be defeated. I mean, because we find out later that this is nothing new for, Daki. She's killed a bunch.
Multiple Hashira. They're going through, she says, some of them were Hashira that she took out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's just like, oh, yeah, these are just humans with, crazy abilities. But at the end of the day, it's like, blood demon art against a human who's training. It's just not... It's not going to fly. So it is just cool to see that and have that, dynamic of power between the demons and the Hashira because it is a constant fight that's been going on for, decades and, hundreds of years.
Yeah. So. And then, episode 4 tonight, that was a lot of that too. A lot of people being found out and people being... absorbed
stolen.
into her, stolen and absorbed into her obi, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah, the
here.
obi.
And that was very cool. I loved, and again, it's been said a million times, but Ufotable or Ufotable, whatever. Their incorporation of 3D and 2D animation is incredible. Seamless and just the way that the fabric moved. And the shots down the long hallways of this slithering fabric was amazing. And to see, everybody kind of absorbed into the fabric, great story and great animation combined to make something freaking legendary.
Yeah, I was sick.
But this is where, things really start to pick up. And it's around... actually episode 5, which is things are going to get real flashy and things do get flashy. And that is where Tanjiro, tries to use his Hinogami Kagura, which is one of my favorite things to say. I'll just be walking around the house just screaming that out of nowhere.
Sword in hand.
Sword in hand, for sure. You can probably see it in the shot over there in the corner.
And you eat flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh, I do.
Dang.
I eat flaming hot Cheetos and I go, Hinogami Kagura!
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is where everything starts to pick up because this is where everybody's sort of, taken hostage in this cave.
Tanjiro's one-on-one pretty much with this demon for a while. Which is super intense. And he's figuring out, his, what breathing techniques he has, under his belt and just trying to stay alive until Tengen can either come or, keeping other people alive too. He's really going through it and hasn't had Nezuko's help yet, which was crazy and a crazy reveal. But he's going through it. It was very high pressure.
A lot of pressure. And of course, it was just them wanting to prioritize, saving people over, like they didn't want their interaction with the demon to put these people's lives in danger. And that's what, we've seen it before, but again, here you really feel it and it's really done well. The demon's saying like, that is what gives us an upper hand, is we do not care. We do not have to walk around carefully and move carefully. You're weaker and you're handicapping yourself by having to move carefully as to avoid harming these humans. We don't give a fuck about these humans.
Yeah, they're all scum and they're all ugly.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
But
that's what she said.
That's what she said. They end up finding obviously Tengen's wives there and free the wives, and the wives help.
Free the wives.
Free the wives. And that is what we've always said. Free the wives. Free the wives. Free all of them.
Free all of them.
Yeah.
They don't want to be married to you.
I promise you.
They want to be with Tengen. Sorry.
They don't want to be with anybody else besides Tengen though. So you can't really feel bad about that. Yeah, and they want to be with this Tengen.
Yeah,
too.
not the animated one. They want this one.
Yeah. Give Mehgan your wives.
They don't call me MILF Hunter for nothing.
Oh,
okay?
That is your name on
that
everything,
is my name
which
on
is
Discord.
Wild, crazy.
It's
that you
funny.
Would like, it's funny, but yeah, like you talk to your parents with that username sometimes.
Okay, they know my lifestyle.
All right. This was cool too because again, like this is finally when Zenitsu is like kind of knocked out. And so thank God.
Perfect. Thank God. It is just everyone knows. Honestly, freaking Tanjiro and freaking Inosuke are gonna have to knock his ass out like every time they go anywhere.
Yeah.
Give him a concussion. Knock him out put him in a 5-year coma.
Yes.
So he can finally step up to the plate.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, come on, dude.
Beat him.
I mean, you had a redeeming moment, like I said, when you stood up to the Oiran, when you stood up the Daki, like that was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all you did.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's still you when you're sleeping, but is it though?
Mm-hmm.
Is it though? Like, are you putting in the effort like everyone else? I don't think so. You're snoozing.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the help, but I just hope he gets to a point in the story where he can do this shit awake, please. It's not a cute character flaw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not cute. It's just kind of like, okay, I guess I just have to accept this, right?
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, I went on a rant there. I'm just feeling it. Like
I was here for it. I loved it all.
Thank you.
I just really wanted to talk about episode 6 too because layered memories, dude. That is when we get to see Nezuko. I mean, that's the end of that episode.
Yeah.
We get to see Nezuko. I mean, essentially over the course of the events that have taken place so far, it really ends up being, Tanjiro versus kind of Daki in a lot of ways, and Daki overpowering Tanjiro, but Tanjiro really holding his own. I mean, his freaking eyes are bleeding.
His eyes are bleeding. You can't see shit. And he's like, and I'm like, dude.
And I wanted to talk about that too. Again, I've talked about it before, but I really do feel like in shonen anime, it is so, we oftentimes, this is a trope of the genre that we need to see our MC, our main protagonist, our hero. We need to see him against all odds as if there's zero hope. Sometimes this doesn't feel like the case. It's what we're being told and what we're being shown, but it just doesn't feel like they're in any real danger because we always have the sense that they're going to get out, that they're going to be able to overcome, that they're going to be able to do it. But here with Tanjiro, I mean, there are so many times where even though in the back of my head I might know that he's gonna pull through and he's gonna get out, because what is the rest of the series gonna be about? They really push my man to the brink, and I really do think sometimes like he's not gonna be able to do that. Like someone's gonna have to come in and help this man, or he really is gonna die. I really feel Tanjiro's danger. I really feel like his life is in danger, and I think that's attributed to the writing, of course, the source material, of course, the pacing of the anime and the sound design too, of like Tanjiro's like breathing, where he's like,
the voice acting in this season was phenomenal.
Insane.
I mean, Daki, her brother, Tengen, the wives, and again, the wives are so, they're not really focused on too much. We do get some flashbacks with them and, Tengen and what they've been through and who they kind of are, but they are very well established characters, like right off the bat. each individual, what their personality is, how they fit into, this type of relationship with not only like Tengen, but also with the other members. Like it was just really cool that they could do that in such a short amount of time. And that's what I love about Demon Slayer is like these characters that you can automatically just feel for and like super instantly.
And this is, I think, why this is called layered memories as well, because it says here, Daki starts to see a distant memory of a similar figure to Tanjiro, memories which she surmises must belong to Muzan's cells in her body. So this is, again, we're finding out more about Nezuko and Tanjiro's dad, that he was in fact not a flame Hashira, which I don't think, maybe we did think that could be the case, but he is superior to flame Hashira, to all Hashiras, to all breathing techniques.
And it was really interesting too when he brought up the sun breathing technique. Sun breathers have this scar on their forehead, yes. And even Rengoku's dad goes, oh, that scar, it's from because you're a sun breather. Like, you look down on all of us because you're the first, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, I didn't get this birthmark. I wasn't born with this. I just spilled hot water on my head.
I hit myself on the head.
Yeah, and that was super, they're, throwing us off the scent of what could actually be, because when he does start fighting, when he does, ramp up, it gets bigger and it is inflamed.
Yeah, he's got a scar under a scar.
You got a scar under a scar.
He got a scar under a scar. And you got to be careful who you call. Like, you can't be just walking around calling people sun breathers. It starts to sound like a slur.
Yeah, you can't do that, Rengoku's dad. He was drunk, though.
He's all drunk and he's just he's like, get out of my house, you filthy sun breather.
Yeah, it's like mouth breather.
Oh, yeah, kind of like mouth breather.
Yeah.
I'm a mouth breather. Yeah, for sure. That's why I got crooked teeth. That's what the dentist says. You know that? If you breathe out of your mouth, it makes your teeth crooked.
Really?
Crazy. Apparently, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, crazy. But crooked teeth give you personality, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
That's true.
And that also is what poor people tell their children so they don't feel bad about having crooked teeth, but it worked for me. It worked for me.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
And personality. You have personality. But this was really interesting because we're finding out, and we still don't know, but we do know that Muzan and Tanjiro's dad, a sun breather, had some sort of history. They got history. They go
way back. And that's kind of where Daki seems, where she knows that Nezuko is the rogue demon, pretty much like, yes. Oh, this is the one. She has the floral kimono or whatever. I always forget what it's called.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, she has that on. I know it's for her. And pretty much like Daki F's up Nezuko, like almost immediately, like chops her in half. Like, straight up, like savage shit.
And she was like her freaking limbs came back so fast.
Yeah, she crashes, and Daki's like, ha ha ha, you lower demon, like I'm gonna kill you and make it fun for me, haha. And then Nezuko just goes, which is interesting because Nezuko never had human meat or flesh, so she's like super weak as it is, and Daki gets like scared. She's like, how can you do that? I can't even do that. You did that fast. Like what? And then Nezuko just goes full,
berserker mode. She goes big titty mode. I was her titties got bigger.
Yeah, she went from like being like a kid to like a woman. Oh. I don't know if she just like saw Daki and was like, I need to be on her level.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it was like a sign of like, trying to, to match that to, what is it, peacocking? She was trying to do that to Daki to make her seem inferior.
Well, maybe she was just trying to intimidate her. Yeah.
Intimidate her. So she's like, you got the assets. I need to get my assets up
that
too.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if you're in the locker room with like another guy, and then a guy like, he looks at you and your dick is smaller than his, and then you just stare him in the eye and your dick starts to get bigger. That'd be great.
I think you're just attracted to the guy.
No, but I'm just saying that you just like as like some sort of like,
I think
sort
that
of like technique.
It's different.
It's a breathing technique.
No,
it's a breathing technique.
No, it's a physical reaction to something.
It's a breathing technique.
You are.
I didn't mean bigger in that way.
I don't know. I don't know. You're eating your words now. And much like eating.
Oh.
Nezuko goes berserker mode, and when she's in this mode of like higher blood demon rank, she wants to eat flesh. She's down for it, hard.
Yep.
We've only ever seen her attack humans when it's been Tanjiro on the line or her defending people. Like, she's never done it, but she wants that meat.
Yes, she does.
So it was pretty crazy.
And so, we see her kind of dealing with that and struggling with that for the first time. There is a limit and again, a consequence to her having this like overpowered ability. It's not something she has unlocked and is able to just use to save the day. It has a downside. It has something that is arguably, that yes, she is there and very helpful in a situation that they would have probably died in otherwise. But now they're kind of forced to deal with something equally as bad with her being that,
I mean, there's other lives on the line if she ever eats a human.
And if she ever eats a human, I mean, that's it for her. I mean, if Tengen or any of the Hashira, if it gets back to them, because they all stuck their necks out, and a lot of them didn't even want Nezuko to be a part of any of it.
No, I know. It was, shoot, I always forget his name. The teacher?
Yeah.
The teacher and the main guy that we meet, Gyu. Gyu.
Yeah, I always forget. I mean, it's a lot of names.
Gyu. They said they're gonna freaking
die. They're all gonna die.
They're gonna commit suicide if Nezuko kills someone.
We say unalive on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Unalive. Sorry.
We say unalive themselves.
Unalive themselves on YouTube.
Yeah, they're gonna unalive themselves live on YouTube. If Nezuko eats a human.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got a lot going on, and that was a big deal for him. So it was kind of like crazy. He's trying to rein it in.
And this was crazy. I mean, this blew the internet, wide open.
Wide open. A lot of controversy. There was a girl who did an OnlyFans video dressed up as the more mature Nezuko. And there was some controversy about that because she technically is still a child. But she just looks a little different because she's got that blood demon art, going on, which I don't know how to feel. But I mean, I don't know you morally if you want to do that. I don't know. I mean, it's not. It's a gray area, but why? But it's just why.
There is something inherently sexual about Nezuko, and I don't know what it is. And I'm not saying that, it's good. I'm not saying that it's good, and I don't think that people need to be sexualizing her. But I mean, something about the way that she something about the way that, she's either drawn or,
It's too much. It's how they promote her. Like straight up, like I'll see like pictures of her and I'm like, why are you doing this to Nezuko? Yeah. Like, why is she, out of everyone in the Demon Slayer, like the Tengen wives, I was like, okay, thank God there's some people to take this
Finally,
seat. Yeah. But leave her alone. She's trying to live her life. Damn.
Yeah, and what's crazy here, too, is that, Nezuko is out of it. She, she's also revealing like her blood demon art, which that we had seen, I think, in the first season, right?
Yeah, we have, but not on this level.
Not on this level.
Yeah.
And especially not her regenerative abilities.
Yeah, because it took her a long time to put. I think she got her arm ripped off or something, and that took a little longer than usual to get it back on. But this time it was like.
And this is the first of many times that we are going to see Daki's head get freaking sliced off.
Oh my God. This is when I started getting annoyed. This is when I was like, I'm done. I can't.
It happens a lot. And again, it really is, I think, a way to drive home that hopelessness because it's like, well, it's just not going to happen. I mean, every time they try so hard to get that head off and every time they do, she's able to put it right back on.
And she's crying and she's yelling and crying. Her voice was shrill. It was good. She was great. I mean, she did a good job, the voice actress, but it was just like, oh, I wish she dies. Hopefully soon. Like, this is so crazy.
And that was
she's not done yet.
The introduction of, Gyutaro, her brother, her sickly brother.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've talked about his voice and we've talked about his character design. I thought he was really, really cool.
Yeah, he was very scary.
Yeah. And, just to kind of get through some of this stuff so we can really talk a little bit longer about the bigger events and the crazier things that happened towards the end of the season, because we're already, getting into episode 8 territory, which was called Gathering. This is when the three of them not the three of them, but like, Inosuke, Zenitsu, Tanjiro, Tengen, the wives, like, this is like the start, I think, of like this incredible animation. Like
this incredible
8, episode 9, episode 10,
11. I mean, it's 4 episodes worth of just like badass moments of just nonstop.
Kind of in 11, but 11 was a lot of, closure.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so it was like 3 episodes straight.
I would say so 7, 8, 9, 10, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And, we really see Tengen, I think, finally here. I mean, we kind of saw it in the cave a little bit. but we saw it for a moment, but we really see this man go off.
He is awesome. I mean, even I think what's his name? Gyotaro?
Yeah, the older brother.
Yeah, Gyotaro. He cuts him with one of his scythes, and he has like poison in him, and he's fighting it. He's smiling, he's laughing, and it was a really funny moment when Gyotaro was like, "Oh, you look so cool, dude. You're so muscular. You're so fit. You're so handsome." I was like, "Chill." But then he's like, "Oh, you have 3 wives." What? And that's what put him over the edge.
He was like, "No way."
Pissed.
He was like, "No way. I'm not gonna let this happen."
He's like, "No way. You're dead.
You're dead.
You're done."
But
You're done.
That's when they all have to kind of get together, and Tanjiro's realizing that his water breathing technique isn't as good. It's like as his Hinokami Kagura. It's Zenosuke, Inosuke, Zenetsu. Zenosuke, that's them together.
That's their ship name.
To save time,
that's
we're
gonna
start calling them that. But he, Tengen kind of sends them to deal with Daki while he deals with the brother Gyotaro, and is getting poisoned and having to deal with everything. And meanwhile, Tanjiro is like also trying to deal with Nezuko and like having to like sing her that lullaby to put her to sleep and everything, which I thought was cute. I'm a sucker for a lullaby and something,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it kind of goes into episode 9, which is defeating an upper rank demon. And this is like where we get that flashback, and this is when I think that they are setting up Tengen's death. I'm for sure thinking, and at this point, I'm thinking this is what Demon Slayer is going to do. They're gonna introduce us to a Hashira every season, and they're gonna kill a Hashira every season.
That's what I thought, and honestly, I was sad. Obviously, I like Tengen, but I was like, damn, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah,
it's kind of sweet because it shows how, not replaceable, but how easy it is to defeat them because it is just like a fact of life. The demons have an upper hand. It doesn't matter how much you train. I mean, you can't kill him, but it was just like, I for sure thought he was dead. Like, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then, Tanjiro, once, after he sings that lullaby and is able to get Nezuko to go to sleep, he's still trying to fight Daki, and he's like combining his Hinokami Kagura with his water breathing, and just to see him, and again his breathing techniques, and learning how he has this line where he says that everybody does it in their own way, like they're masters, they're Hashira because they take what they're taught and they make it their own, they add on it. That's what's birthed all these different styles, is innovation and people mastering techniques and manipulating them into things that work towards their favor and play to their strengths. And so he kind of starts combining these things, and it's very, very awesome. Again, they have this plan, and they realize that they're only going to be able to defeat them if they cut both of their heads off at the same time.
Which is like,
what the heck? They're never going to be able to do that.
And Daki is definitely less strong. I mean, than her brother. So we have 2-on-1, which is like Zenetsu and Inosuke on her, and then obviously a heavy hitter, which is Tanjiro.
Yeah,
like kind of going back and forth pretty much, but ultimately with Daki and the whole shebang, which is like crazy.
Yeah, and this is all leading up to, I think we even get to see a glimpse of, I can't remember, it's hard to go through these notes and keep this interesting at the same time. But even at a certain point, it is revealed that Tanjiro's scar does sort of kind of fade away, and it is revealed that he has sun breathing capabilities, that he is able to use this sun breathing technique. That's that's where one of his scars kind of goes away.
Yeah,
and the other scar forms, and of course, I mean, we all knew.
Yeah.
But to see that was really, really cool, to see him able to do that. And again, he's, the hopelessness and just how many times they're able to do it. Inosuke is able to come around and saw. Yeah, when he's like
when
sawing.
He has it like this. And it's such a good moment. And he gets her head and tries to run as far as he can with, the head so she can't reconnect it to the body. But it was that was an awesome moment too.
Well, getting to see the team and the dynamic, and yes, Zenetsu is just like killing it. I mean, he's just doing what he should have been doing this whole time. I mean, he's actually being an asset to this team and handling freaking business, dude. And Inosuke stepping up to the plate, using his competitive relationship that he has with Tanjiro to bring out the best within himself. And to really and that's what I mean. That's why he really won me over, because he is a guy who is just very competitive and is not going to let himself be outdone by anybody. And he's going to let that drive him. And it's about being elevated by the peers that you surround yourself with. And that's something that is applicable, I think, in real life. But if you surround yourself with freaking greatness, then it's going to make you want to be freaking great. And that's how you gotta keep going. And that's how Inosuke gets stronger. And that's so cool to see. On top of Tanjiro, really just pulling from the depths of his soul, everything he has, and it almost always being enough and then not enough, was just incredible. And to see these upper demons think that they were gonna be able to win, and just to see them slowly start to realize that they were going to lose, and that's kind of what starts to happen in episode 10. When, again, this is with, I think, the finger breaking happens.
Yeah.
And
it was cool. The kunais, or I kept calling them shurikens, or kunais.
The kunai shurikens, same thing.
Same thing? Okay, yeah.
I mean, they're not. One is like a blade and one is like a star. But
yeah.
They're blades that you throw.
Kunais, they're covered in wisteria, which is the Tengen's wives. And it was very useful. Mm-hmm. They really paralyzed him for a little bit there, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, but it was cool that is brought back later with Tanjiro, and that was pretty sick moment.
Yeah, it was incredible, and we get to see here again, even when you do think Tanjiro's lost all hope, he has now. I mean, this last episode, or not last episode, second to last episode, episode 10, is called Never Give Up, and this fool never gives up. And again, I don't know how else to tell you that we've seen this so many times in the shonen genre, but here it just feels so real and so fresh and so hopeless, but also so much more rewarding and fulfilling when it's overcome. I mean, Tanjiro was really digging deep, and even when you think he's possibly maybe starting to realize that he's not going to be able to do this, and he runs away, which is apparently a different way than it happens in the manga, subtle difference in ways. It's that he's actually playing this mind game, that he's on some Usopp shit. You know what I mean? He's planning ahead. He's running so that he can get these little bags so that he can throw them at him and get the upper hand. I mean, he's never going to give up. Yeah. And that's when he headbutts Gyotaro, Gyotaro. He headbutts him. And this is, again, just such a powerful moment. And man, ever since Mugen Train 2, when we were able to see inside the souls, and that's what I loved about that movie too, is being able to see the what their representation, the physical manifestation or the spiritual manifestation of their soul, and what Tanjiro's was. It's say less. That's all I need to know about him. I go into this man's soul and it's blue skies and fluffy white clouds. Say less. I know everything. And just he's a pure soul who's going to do whatever he can to protect everyone he can, and especially his sister. And it was just so awesome. Not to mention, this is when the animation has been peak. This is when we're seeing not Rengoku, R.I.P. This is when we're seeing Tengen too, and the sound, his sound breathing, and we're really seeing him with his freaking blades and him just kind of spinning them around, and what the sound means, and it looks like freaking fireworks are going off everywhere. I mean, I was transported. Yeah,
the animation is out of this world, insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just no one's doing it like them. I mean, it is cinematic, like you were saying. It is nothing that I've seen before in anime yet. It's just continually getting better and better. And we saw it with Mugen Train, and we're seeing it again, and I can't wait for what they have in store. It is just so exciting, and it just builds and builds and builds, and all of the different techniques and how they animate them, and it's just so awesome.
It's incredible, and to see the buildup and the reward and the payoff of the team once they're able to finally, and you see everybody working hard and being inspired, and creating Inosuke says, or Zenitsu says, or both of them say, Tanjiro's creating this window. And we're not, because at one point, you think Inosuke is dead. At one point, you think everybody's freaking dead.
He gets like freaking cut in the heart, and he goes, "I can move my organs around." I was like, okay.
I don't hate it,
I don't hate it either, but okay.
I'm not like I am usually bothered by like fake out deaths, and especially when they're done to main characters that are not going to die. Demon Slayer being Demon Slayer, when it does it with characters like Rengoku, like it does tell you that people do die and they stay dead sometimes, which I like. But I don't know, something about just like the cliffhanger element of it. Like I was really hooked every episode. It's like, oh, Inosuke's dead. Tengen's dead. And then the one shot of like Zenitsu under the wood, the debris with the fire everywhere. Like, I was like, this fool's dead.
Yeah.
This fool's dead. Everybody's dead, and that added to that like hopelessness. And it was just, again, when you see them kind of rally and you see them all pull through, it's like, fuck yeah. It's like, let's go, dude. And they did it. And they Tanjiro was able to do it too. And what was so crazy is like in the aftermath of all of this, and that's what I loved about this episode. In the aftermath of all of it, you see Tanjiro finally able to take a breath and to be like, oh my God, like it's over. And Tengen just like with his ears ringing, Tengen's just in the background like, it's not over.
Yeah, and Tanjiro's like, what are you talking about? Tengen is, okay, first of all, his one arm, his hand got cut off, which is cool because of what happens later. But yeah, he's just like, it's not over yet. Run away. And Tanjiro's like, like he can barely breathe. He's not even taking a breath. He's
with his
just
purple ass fingers.
He's stunned.
Purple ass bloody eyes.
Yeah, he's stunned. He's stunned. And it was just like, damn, another one. I was just like, can these people be dead already?
Yeah.
Can they just enough?
And there's
enough.
Like, it's not over. It's not over. Stop. And then that's when the his blood demon art, kind of explodes and then you zoom out and you see the whole entertainment's district just like
ravaged,
leveled, and everything is just rubble and debris. And then the credits start rolling and you're just like, wow. Like, cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger. I mean, some cliffhangers, yeah, sure, they're not all believable because some of them I'm like, my boy Inosuke's not gonna die, even though I know he can move his heart.
I knew he wasn't dead. I mean, it was like, damn, like this is crazy. Like, how are they gonna get out of this? But it is just a type of saying where I was like, I know they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, and to bring us home, really at episode 11, and I know we've jumped all around. We just really wanted to kind of go through and talk about some highlights. We probably maybe missed a few things, but again, for the sake of time and to keep the show moving, we arrive here and now at episode 11, no matter how many lives is what the episode is called. And what was really cool about this episode is, yes, we get build up, then we get fucking, payoff, and then we get an episode, a full-length episode resolution. Everything is sort of resolved, and it's given its space, and it's given its time, and it's given its place to really just be resolved. And for everything we saw the explosion, and now we're seeing where everything's falling. And I really, really like that a show, when a show takes a chance to do that, takes its time doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the last episode, I was like, is this really it? Like, oh my God, we have to wait again for another season? Like, I was surprised too, like, that the next season is going to be, I thought they'd be like, do another movie or something. It'd be like, season 1, movie, season 2, movie.
Season 3.
But I'm happy. I can't wait to see how this story unfolds. And like, this last episode was like, damn. Like, again, I'm a sucker for those demon flashbacks. Like, I was really, really waiting for it to see if they could be redeemed somehow, some way.
Yeah, and you never think they can. And they, what I liked about this one is that they kind of weren't, I mean.
Yeah.
He was saying that he was always, Gyutaro was always saying that, like, he was always a bad guy. And he was, again, he was the product of just a horrible
upbringing,
like set of circumstances, like,
yeah.
And that is in terms of like, family, that is in terms of like time, that is in terms of like, everything. I mean, he was dealt every wrong card. He was born at the wrong time into the wrong family, I mean, and he was succumbed to so much disease. And it was really crazy because, again, it's a time in history where, I'm sure these are things and circumstances that even now, depending on where you live, some of us, I think, are so fortunate, even if we do feel like at times, we are poor where we live. I feel like there are people still in places all over the world that live in like really far worse conditions and have to deal with like these illnesses and these infections and these things that we can just go down to a CVS and get a medication for or something. And not to say that they're in the Stone Age, but they just don't have access necessarily to all these things. And even especially like back then, it's just like, wow, it's so unfortunate to see. And even though he wasn't like redeemed in the way that I think, maybe people might have expected him to be, and redeemed is even like I don't even know if it's the right word, but, I did feel a lot of empathy for him, And even, kind of less his sister, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she definitely took a back seat for me.
Yeah.
The focus was definitely on him.
Yeah.
Because like what had happened, he kind of blamed himself because he kind of like raised her to be a certain way. And that's the reason why, how she ended up getting crispy.
She got crisp.
Yeah, she got crisp, which was also so unfortunate. I mean, this little girl, 13 years old, having to do these things with a grown-ass man.
That's just disgusting and crazy and probably something that in some cultures,
is fine. And it's just, I mean, back that is the whole kind of theme again, where we have, these people being treated unjustly and they're just expected to stand by and accept the treatment that they're given, when it's like, no, just because this is your circumstance doesn't mean you have to bow down to anyone, especially because it was like a samurai, a well-ranked person in society, and she wasn't. That's the reason why she ended up getting burned alive in a pit.
Yeah, because some freaking man who can use a sword. Good for you, dude. Good for you, dude, that you can use a sword. Good for you, dude, that you killed a 13-year-old girl in a pit. You put her in a dirt pit and set her on fire.
Yeah, great, cool, dude. I wonder how many calls you get a week.
Yeah,
wanting to hang out.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing later? I can meet you. Yeah, I can meet you at the bar. I'm in the middle of burning a 13-year-old girl right now.
Yeah, she stabbed me because I did something bad to her. Stupid.
Yeah, it's just so crazy and wild, man. It's just, yeah. I mean, and that's what I really did like about his character, Gyotaro, is that he's just basically telling his sister, like you said, in a lot of ways, like that's kind of what why I empathize with him and why I do like him. If there is something to like about him, is he's kind of like, yo, man, he's kind of like, I guess we haven't seen the end of Attack on Titan, and I haven't read the Attack on Titan ending yet, but, he is like, sort of like Eren Yeager on a smaller scale, where he's like, look, man, if all these people are going to wrong me, and if all these people are going to treat me however they want to treat me because of the way I look, which I am not in control of because I don't have access to anything, like, screw these people. I'm going to do what I want to do then. If they're going to never see me like a human being, then I'm just not going to live my life in squalor. I'm going to do what I can and take from who I have to like survive, because no one's going to help me. And if no one's going to help me, then I'm going to help myself and my sister.
Yeah, make a new situation for themselves. Yeah. And that was the hardest part too, like that she was, attractive and that she could have been something different. But the way he kind of brought her up, like, don't take shit from nobody. Take what you're, what you deserve.
And that's why he felt a little responsible, I guess, for kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Because good for her, dude, with that freaking nasty ass, samurai pedophile or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was ultimately the reason that she ended up, dying. But
he gets slashed too, but he does some crazy scythe shit. He gets out of it.
That was crazy.
But then also
he did that before he was a demon too.
Yeah, which was crazy. And then, we see a new demon that changes them in the past, and he looks crazy.
He looks cool, man.
Yeah, all the demons look so sick. I mean, they're all bad, but they look so fire. And they get changed, and then, years and years and years is just them terrorizing and eating and ruining, having everyone rue the day they were born to meet these people because they hate humans.
And there's an emotional moment at the end too, where they're kind of just like, again, like saying these hateful things to each other, hateful things that they don't mean.
Yeah.
And that they're just saying because of the severity of the situation that they're in. And then, the beautiful moment, Tanjiro, my blue skies,
boy.
clouds in the sky boy comes over there and puts his hand over their mouth and just like lets them kind of like, as they sort of disintegrate and they fade away. And then that shot, which we talked about in the beginning of the episode, of just them in the afterlife and having to still walk towards the flames of hell together was crazy.
Yeah.
And another notable thing that happened in this episode is that Nezuko, you think everybody's going to die, Inosuke and Tengen, and more Tengen than Inosuke for sure, at first at least. But Nezuko has the ability to use her blood demon art to basically not necessarily heal people, but it does ignite. What I kind of take from it is that it's just she's using some sort of flame that's igniting and burning away and, you know, disintegrating, I guess, the poison in people's bodies. And so she's able to bring everybody back. And that's when Tengen's like, I'm done, dude. I am done.
Yeah, the snake Hashira shows up finally. They're
I love him.
Where
A little
the hell?
Orochimaru boy.
Yeah, where the hell were you? You're too late. Jesus, it's already done. We finished it. And yeah, he's like, I am retired. I do not want to do this anymore. I can't fight with one arm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he goes, well, you're going to have to, because we're down 2 members. I mean, we're going to be down 2 members if you leave. And then he says straight up, like, Tanjiro is going to be the next Hashira.
I mean, it does kind of look like that. I mean, it kind of looks like for sure, like Tanjiro's about to be Hashira sooner than I thought.
Yeah, same.
Same.
I thought there'd be like a time skip.
Zenitsu too, but
yeah.
But they need to wait a little longer.
They need to just. I mean, they're still young, but they need to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, they got a lot of growing up to do, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Even Tanjiro, but yeah, for sure them.
And that's, I think, pretty much, right? Then we kind of cut to the very end where we see Muzan and we see Akaza in the, what is that place called? Something Palace? It's
like the dream, or like the demon moving palace, or Infinity Castle.
Infinity Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they get on the Infinity train and they get on the Mugen train to the Infinity Castle.
Oh.
Wow, cool. And Infinity Train, amazing show, by the way. Just had to say that. Yeah, and then we see that they're talking about the upper ranked demons having been killed, and it looks like, now that we know that this guy has got a, personal grudge against Tanjiro, that he's probably going to also be a factor and a force that they're going to have to deal with in the next season.
In the next season, yeah, for sure.
And yeah, everybody just kind of is all back together and all happy and all healed up. And Tanjiro gives some of the blood to that one demon that's helping him, make an antidote, or trying to help him make an antidote. And this is the first time that they've ever got a demon of this rank's blood before. So this is going to be great for them. Maybe that'll come into play as well. That was it. I know this was a longer episode and a different kind of episode, but I mean, I just really did want to go through everything and just talk about what an amazing season this was. If this was something that you liked and something that you'd like to see more of, I mean, we have plans to cover some more anime in the future in the next upcoming week, but it'll be a series. It's going to be Odd Taxi. I'll just say it. I don't know why I'm being so cryptic, but it'll be a season 1 discussion too. So if it's something that you haven't seen, then you can kind of watch as much as you can, and it'll kind of be structured similarly to this, in that we're going to give our thoughts on the series as a whole in the beginning, so you can maybe just kind of, we'll try to keep that spoiler free too. And you can kind of watch that, and then, you can maybe come back to the episode by episode, beat by beat kind of discussion if you haven't seen it all yet. But yeah, let us know if this is something that you like. We want to do more anime. We want to cover more anime series or seasons as a whole. And what better like one to do now than this second season, because it was absolutely incredible.
Phenomenal.
I do have a couple, just a couple. I know I've been talking forever. Final thoughts, but before I go, Mehgan, is there anything else you have to say to really put a bow on this conversation?
I mean, the bow's on your head, so I don't think I can do that.
It is.
But I mean, everything that I've said so far, I've loved this series since season 1. Anime only watcher. I love the characters that it introduces. I love the journeys that they go through, and it's just a treat. And the animation just is an extra layer of just enjoyment, and it adds so much to like what I said, the first season watching it, I was just so excited to be like, wow, this is what anime is going to be and grow into. Like, that's what I feel. And every time I watch this series, I'm reminded of how far we've come in anime in general and how far we're going to go. And it just excites me. And it just makes me so happy that, you know, we're getting these series that are, you know, elevating the source material and doing it justice and not, you know, diminishing its reputation and only making it better. And I just can't wait for the new season. I honestly can't wait. I couldn't wait for this season, and it went by so fast. I remember when it first came out, and now it's just over, and now I have to wait again.
Yeah.
But it was just amazing. I can't wait, and I love some of the answers that we got to some of the questions that had been rolling on.
Yeah, I really do. You know, just really, I mean, just to kind of say or reiterate what you said is just that I really just hope that that other studios take note in terms of pacing, in terms of the quality of the output of this animation. And I hope this is the future of anime. It feels like it. And it needs to be something that I think is looked at by other studios and sort of, you know, recreated, because this felt like an event, and it elevated not just the source material of the manga, but it felt like it elevated the medium of anime.
Yeah.
And it was
definitely.
I have not felt this way about a series and about a season of a series since I was like in high school, you know, when I was first watching Naruto, when I was first watching Bleach. I mean, this was like incredible. This was a moment for me, and it is something that I'm always going to look back fondly on, and I can't wait for season 3 as well. But let us know what you thought about season 2 of Demon Slayer. And again, let us know what you think about these types of episodes. And if you want to see more of them, we're going a little long, but we're not done yet. We have to very quickly get through our other segment, the Wonder's Circle, which is the segment of our show where our beautiful AI that you heard in the beginning give her thoughts on Demon Slayer, where she goes through comments that you've left on previous videos. She picks a couple. She reads them aloud to us, and we respond to them. So if you want one of your comments read in a future Wonder Circle, all you got to do is leave a comment on this video or any of our future videos, Yeah, leave a comment on one of our future videos.
Travel in time.
Yeah, travel in time. Do that, and then we'll for sure read that one.
Thank you.
Or even any of our previous videos.
Yeah.
But with all that said, Volume 1 Chunky, hit us with the first comment, please.
This one comes from Bizarre Gold.
Oh, haven't heard from Bizarre in a while.
I always love when Sanji gets focused. He's so suave and cool. Also, I know Mehgan is the cosplayer of the group, but Josh consistently has my favorites. Can't wait for Sogeking.
Dang.
Oh, maybe you're seeing a little bit into the future right now. Maybe you did. Maybe that was a future comment.
Holy crapoli.
Holy crapoli. Maybe that was.
Yeah, no, Josh has been really amping up the cosplay game recently. I got to get back on it. Yeah, no, it's I mean, this is all this is today. I mean,
this is great. Yeah, this is freaking great.
We put this together
we put it together in probably about an hour, and I would say like between the both of us, I mean, I had this already and the earrings already, but everything else, like Megan's entire sort of get up, we put together for like $20 in like an hour.
Obviously, the people that are just audio listeners only, Josh is cosplaying the girl version of Tanjiro in this season, and I'm cosplaying, you know, Tengen-sama himself. This is I think this is the second time I've cosplayed on this channel.
Love to see it.
I did Kaneki. And then Tengen, I had to do it. I had to do it to him, you know?
And we want to do more stuff like this, and we want to be able to do this for as many episodes as we can. Sometimes it's easier than other episodes, but thanks, Bizarre, for the shout out and for recognizing that I am trying to outdo Mehgan. And you know what I'm trying to do?
It's very prevalent.
Just
that you
like
are trying to do it.
Inosuke looks out at his, you know, peers and he wants to be better. I'm trying to Inosuke you, or I'm trying to be a Tanjiro to your Inosuke, and I'm trying to give you something to look at and say, you know what? Damn, I got to step my game up, even though you got great game. Your game is pretty great.
Thanks.
Because I think when you do a cosplay, you really put a lot of effort into making it like as, you know, screen accurate or as great as it can be. And sometimes I just like to throw stuff together. But yeah, thank you, Bizarre, so much. Volume 1 Chunky, this was the last comment, please.
This one comes from Masked Void. Funeral. Normal person. Don't blame yourself, Ichigo. Unfortunate things like this can happen to anyone. Don't beat yourself up about it. Mehgan. Congrats, dumbass! You killed your mother, you impudent shit! You'll burn in hell with the hollow you killed, murderer!
Oh my god.
Okay, that is not verbatim what I said.
Basically, it's what you said.
I did say that Ichigo is 100% responsible for his mother's death, and he should feel bad.
Some people aren't going to understand that you're joking.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't have happened if he didn't run after that hollow, because she paid the price. But I mean, he'll just have to live with that and grow from that, and people make mistakes, but it is completely his fault, yeah.
Oh my god. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
I'm Team Ichigo, and
I'm Team Ichigo too, but damn, Ichigo. You did that, huh? Damn.
Okay. Well, if you haven't tuned into our Dun Kai episodes where we're reading through all of Bleach, we're still at the very beginning, and you have a chance now, while we're at the beginning, if you haven't already, to catch up and start going through it with us. They're really fun, and the second one is going to be coming out this week after this video. So look forward to that. That's going to do it for the Wonder Circle. Before we go, though, we have to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing Patreon members.
Let's go!
Thank you guys so much. Your support means the world to us. It's because of your support that we can do these $20 closet cosplays, that we can put these things together and really add an extra layer of entertainment to the show and put a little more love and put a little more effort into it. You give us the financial freedom to be able to do that, and it's because of your support that we're able to do, all the things we're able to do, even put more time into reading these series, researching these series, because it's because of your, again, support. It means that we have to give less time to other things that don't have to rely on other things necessarily. So thank you so much. You give us freedom. And everything that you do and every way that you support us allows us to just hopefully make this show better and better and better and better and better. And it's because of you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much. And if you would like to become a Patreon member and get early access to all of our episodes and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod or click join on this video. And you get everything and all of those things at our lowest tier on both. Mehgan, you want to tell them the last thing they got to know before they get out of here?
Yeah, so if you want to join the Algorithm Gang, you definitely can and become gang affiliated with Volume 1 podcast. You can comment on any one of our videos. You can comment Algorithm Gang Gang. You can comment a period, comment a comment, or, I mean, pretty much anything you want. And it acts as a free tip to our algorithm, and it really helps us out. It shows, other people our stuff, and we're really trying to branch out. Like 2022 is our year, guys. Like, let's make it to 10K. Like, let's go. And we're trying our best. We're really trying to go full throttle this year.
Okay.
Full throttle. And if you guys could help us out by just doing that, like, I promise it really does help if you don't have the funds to help us out. And we appreciate every comment we get. We read all of them. We appreciate every like. We appreciate every hit the bell,
every subscription,
out there.
Everything. Every review or rating on, iTunes, if you listen on iTunes too.
Yeah, I mean, it really does help us out, and it expands Volume 1 podcast across the globe. So continue working hard, Algorithm Gang Gangers.
We see you. Yeah, we see you.
Algorithm Gang Gangers.
Okay, all right.
No?
Something about it sounds off, but we'll go with it. And make sure to cop some of that sweet Dun collection merch.
That's so sick. It's actually really sick.
Yeah, hopefully in the next couple weeks you'll see us sporting our own.
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it for another episode. Thank you guys if you've stayed all the way to the end. Thank you. That also helps too. Just putting us on and letting it play all the way through helps too. In the algorithm. So thank you so much. We love all of you, no matter how you show your support. We love you. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today is
my wife's.
Oh, we've said that in the Hell's Paradise thing.
That's my wife. My wives.
Okay, well we'll table it. Hashira, fabric. Hinogami Kagura. Come on. Let's see.
Stay flashy.
I like it. I like it.
Better than my wives, really.
Because we've already, you're adding one letter to something we've already said before.
Okay, well, it's
step it up,
Oh my god.
Step it up.
Okay, look at me. Really?
I know. You look great. You really do look great.
Thank you.
You really look great.
Thank you.
Stay flashy. I like that.
Stay flashy.
Thank you, as always, for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, stay flashy. That was great.
Flashy.
That was a lot of fun.
Flashy.
Absolutely incredible.
Lights, lights.
Flashing lights.